and welcome back to Hendricks Hall for another episode of Sports Hour. I'm, of course, your host, Trevor Howard. With me, Sarah Gordon, and obviously our boy, Topher Elkins, here to cover some NFL news. Sarah, why don't you, kick it away with some Buffalo Bills news right out of the gate.
All right, thank you, Trevor.
Absolutely.
I will do just that. So we don't have as much in the past week because we came back after a 2-week break of sports hours. We had a ton of Bills things. There was a lot. So we have recent in the past week, wide receiver Jamison Crowder signed with the Bills, as well as running back Duke Johnson. And then we have the match contract and price for Ryan Bates. He's kind of doing this thing where he's signed with Chicago, or not signed, but he's in talk with Chicago, and the Bills it's a possibility, but the Bills have said that they can match the contract, so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that one. And then
I feel like I can match the contract with Chicago, but that's another story. Still poverty.
Oh gosh.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
They're not.
I think you might still be a little bit short, but
yeah, maybe a little bit short on the cash,
a little
but
bit.
yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but yeah. So anyway.
Just wait till I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. So then on other news, we have O-line Ike Butker re-signed for 1 year, so that's exciting for the Bills. And then just a bunch of fun stuff I added in here. Josh Allen, there's a funny, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet.
I saw it.
Yeah, so
we all saw it.
It was good.
It was really good. The Diggs brothers, he wanted Stefan to go to Dallas, and then he posted a picture with him and his brother, and Josh Allen responded to the tweet, no, period. And it was just so iconic. And I just had to add that in here because it was a funny moment. But
I think if you're gonna, in reality, let's be real.
Let's be real.
The younger Diggs should just come to Buffalo.
Yeah.
We're short a cornerback. We're better than Dallas. They haven't won a playoff game in 3 years, more than that. In reality, he would just be better off here. Also, no one likes Dallas, so it just works out.
Yeah. Stefan won't go to you. You come to us.
Are you telling me that no one likes America's team, the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes, Trevor, I am
agree.
telling
I
you
don't
that.
like the Cowboys either, but that would only make logical sense for the younger Diggs brother to play with the older Diggs brother.
Yeah.
Other than having him go to a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who just lost their number one wide receiver.
Right.
But that'd be all the reason to get Stefan Diggs, but that's a different thing. But I'm not even gonna go there with that possibility.
No. Josh Allen has our boy Diggs back.
Yeah, and it's good that they have a new running back now, not named Zach Moss.
Right.
I think Duke Johnson's okay. He was pretty good with Cleveland. He's pretty good. I mean, he was with Houston, so take it any way you can get it. But I think he's going to do great with Sean McDermott. He's a good guy. I think he's better than maybe, who was the other guy they had? Breida. I think he's a little step higher than Breida. But it's good that they're loading up on running backs. I also would not eliminate the fact that they might go running back in the draft.
They better go second or third round.
Yeah.
If they don't go that high,
trade up to get one.
It's third round because the order better be corner, wide receiver, running back. That's at that point. If that's not the order they draft, unless that Georgia that Georgia defensive tackle, the big dude.
Oh, Rousseau?
Yeah.
No, the one in the D tackle from Georgia this year, the one in the draft.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. But the dude who just had a freak combine.
Yep.
If he's available, I'm not gonna get mad if they take him.
He's going first round.
Yeah, he's easily going first round. I just don't know if he falls to the Bills. It better be the Clemson corner, or Clemson corner is Andrew Booth. Andrew Booth is the Clemson corner. That's why I want to get drafted by the Bills.
Yeah.
But depending on how the Bills do in the draft, let's go around the table. How do you think the Bills would do going into this year? Let's say that they kind of just stick with what they have right now. Throw the draft out the window right now. Mm-hmm. If you put this team out on the field with their new acquisitions, how many wins would they get? Over, under 13 or 14?
I say 13 or 14 also. Because, they're looking they definitely have acquired, they still, you still have the draft, you said, but if you leave that on the table, they've acquired, a good deal of their weapons that they've been not necessarily lacking on, but needed more of, and I think that the names that they've got right now, I think they could get a good team around them and win 14 games, if not more.
They were an overtime possession away from getting another shot at the
Yes.
hosting the
Which will-
AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Topher? If they just threw them out right now, they said, we're going to switch NFL with XFL and play in the spring, how confident would you be that the Bills would they win over or under 13 games right now?
I'm scared currently that until Trey White gets back, Dane Jackson's our corner
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
I love
true.
Dane Jackson, but like until Trey White's recovered, he's our best corner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Taron Johnson's great, but I don't think he's an outside corner. Like I have not seen him play outside corner enough.
More of a slot guy.
He's a
Yeah.
great nickel corner, and he's like one of the best nickel corners in the league.
Yep.
But I would need to see like preseason or something him playing outside consistently. Be like, yeah, I trust him to hold over until Trey White gets back.
Like get that test run in there.
Yeah, so like
He's not
realistically,
your solid
that's
number one.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm kind of hoping we take a corner in the first round of the draft, because I'm scared of not having Trey White.
Yeah, that'd be the smartest. It'd be really the smartest play that the Bills could do right now. Once we get to the draft,
Like I'm
that's-
very much team wide receiver, but I'm also very team corner.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Bills right now are actually really they're very loaded right now, and they have the chance to go right back to the AFC Championship game if they even had a season like right now. The draft is just adding more talent to the team,
It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
adding more to what's already a really good team.
yes.
But then if you look around the NFL, I mean, even after last week's show where we covered, what was it, a half hour worth of stuff, 25 minutes worth of stuff, outcomes, I think it was last Wednesday or
It was the
Friday?
day. It was the day
The
after.
day
Sports
after,
Hour, so it was
last Wednesday, Tyreek Hill is going to the Miami Dolphins because Miami threw the farm at this guy to get him, and now he's playing with Tua. And I saw his introductory press conference, and he's like, Tua is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. I'm like, why some more?
Yeah, if you're running a
Okay.
crossing route 5 yards down the field,
Like I could do that.
he's not throwing it more than 20, dude. He's not the answer. I don't care how accurate he is.
What,
He's
you gonna
not
throw
making
screen
it down the
passes the whole
field for you.
time?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point with Tyreek, I'm scared. Like,
Yeah.
it's the Bills don't have Trey White right now. Like, I'm scared of Tyreek, sure. Because
Yeah.
it just depends on what the schedule looks like. Yeah, like he's going to score 2 touchdowns on us, but who else is scoring for them? No
Hopefully
one.
no one.
They got
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert at running back.
Oh, yeah, the
they
dude
don't have Jacoby Brissett anymore.
The
But
dude who can't make it a full season at running back.
if there was a wide receiver to change Tua, it's got to be Tyreek.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't play
Yeah.
well with him, he's a flat out bust.
Yeah.
He already is, dude. Like, he is. Like, I don't
know.
care.
I mean, what? He got drafted 2020,
He got drafted the same year as Herbert.
same year as same year as
Like,
Herbert.
that alone just proves they screwed up.
Same year as CeeDee Lamb with all these players that went in that first round. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. But I think he went like what, top 10? He was
He
like
was
sixth
seventh.
overall.
He was seventh. No, I'm sorry. He went sixth. Herbert went seventh.
That's right. Yep, Herbert went right after
Miami
him.
choked.
Yeah.
Miami choked
Yeah, they did.
so hard.
Oh, well.
I just couldn't even imagine Tua in Los Angeles playing with the Chargers. He would have get
He would have. He
in
would
that
not
division.
Be, he'd be bad. No,
No, I
like
don't- I don't
literally,
think
the
he'd be on the
Chargers would
team
be the.
anymore.
Yeah.
The Chargers would be the worst team.
You were bad.
What about we were bad. What about looking at the Colts, looking at guys like Julio Jones? Because T.Y. Hilton, from what I've heard, he's being linked to the Dallas Cowboys, bringing them back up again. He missed pretty much the entire season last year. I wouldn't mind looking at a Julio Jones and Matt Ryan part 2, running it back with those two guys.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Probably the
just-
best veteran receiver out there that you don't have to trade for, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
OBJ.
Yeah.
You would. I mean, it depends how much money you want to cough up, because like OBJ's still there.
They got a lot of
Yeah.
cap
So-
space, even
They
with
do.
this,
They have
with the
they have
Ryan
a ton.
contract.
It really is. Like realistically, it makes sense for Julio because he will be cheaper. So like obviously, you have that connection, and like obviously Julio Jones is an upgrade from T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah,
Like
I would say so.
but even like
A
in
compliment to
the,
Michael
at the
Pittman.
moment, at the moment, like even in their primes, Julio was better, and like at the moment, they're better too. So like yeah, I would not be like upset if Indianapolis did that. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt them.
And the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, still looking to be signed. What is taking him so long?
Those are
Like,
the-
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know
like-
that he's been injured a couple of times over the last couple of years, but he's still a really good player that you want to have in your secondary.
No, there's a
Yeah,
few. Like
definitely.
Clowney, like is interesting. Like I don't know. He's obviously not the same player he used to be. Clowney, OBJ, Matthew, and then Melvin Ingram are the ones that stand
Yeah.
out to me. Because like Melvin Ingram did good on KC last year, and they just haven't brought him back yet. So like, there's still a few players out there that teams have just not picked up.
Yeah, Gilmore's a big
Good
one.
few.
Gronk, I can see him honestly going
He's
back
not
to
he's not
Tampa
going-
Brady.
Yeah.
I can see him
probably.
going back there. Baker Mayfield, is he ever going to get traded?
I think they
We
might.
don't know.
That
The
has
world
to be,
may never know.
It's got to be questions that we hopefully can answer next week. So thank you guys for coming on. We're going to have Brent on in a couple minutes to talk some NHL and the fun Sabres. So stay tuned.
We're ready for you.
Pneumococcal.
If you're 65 or older, like me, you're at greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, even if you're healthy.
People 65 plus are over 10 times more likely to land in the hospital for pneumococcal pneumonia than those 18 to 49. And it's important we all do what we can to stay healthy. So, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination.
Hope, where are you hiding? I search for you in the seconds, the minutes of each and every day. Hear me as I call out to you. Take my hand. Lift me up as I lift up others. Welcome me home, father, mother, sister, brother, son, daughter. Hear us now. Alone we stood, divided we fell. No longer. Now we choose to make the connection. Our new mission lies within. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
16 is such a significant age. I promise to help protect my eldest daughter during this exciting time in her life. Teens are at an increased risk for meningococcal disease, a rare, potentially deadly bacterial infection. But half haven't received the CDC recommended second dose of the MenACWY vaccine at 16. I want to help change that. Take your shot against meningitis. Talk to your teen's doctor about the MenACWY vaccine and ask about MenB. Visit the16vaccine.org.
Happy to have Brent on to talk some Sabres hockey and the
We're
rest of
back,
the news
baby.
from
We're
the
back.
NHL. Are the Sabres fun? There's just a question right out of the gate. Are the
That-
Sabres a fun team to
I
watch
think
right
the
now?
Sabres are an absolutely fun team to watch. I mean, just based on the game yesterday, a 4-goal comeback on the Blackhawks, that was just unbelievable. I mean, everyone thought we were down and out when we went down 4, and then we came back. Something happened in the locker room. I don't know. Coach was rattling the boys up. Boys were getting fired up. Went out there, came back. First time since
January 1989.
1989, yeah. First time since, January 1st, 1989. Like, yeah, the Sabres this month so far, because I remember you saying the one time, the month of March is usually our
It's usually
gaping
the Ides of
hole
March.
that we
Yep.
just go in and can't win games.
One
but
win
now,
March.
yeah, now we're picking it up. So yeah, I think we're getting into some fun Sabres to watch.
And it seemed like after the game we were at with the Vegas Golden Knights, it seemed like after they won that game, it just set something off in the locker room. Like beating your former captain was that one thing that just gave you all the confidence in the world to go out and beat any team that, crosses your path. And I found out October they had a winning record at the end of the month, and March they have a winning record right now. It's just November through February where the Sabres decided to play badly. If they picked it up, maybe in one of those 2 months or whatever out of that span, they could be fighting for a playoff
They
spot
could
right
be.
now.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, it's tough to say because earlier in the season we were dropping some games to some teams that we definitely should have been beating at the time. But I mean, yeah, like you said, right now we're looking fine. We're looking like, the chemistry in the group is definitely coming together more. And I think, next year and the following years after that to come, we're gonna be that team to be fighting for that playoff spot, and then guaranteed having that spot when it comes, January or whatever. Because I know with the players that we're gonna have coming, it's gonna look scary for the other teams in the league.
Yeah, and it looks scary for some teams right now in the league because the Sabres are 8-3-2 in the month of March, which is something that we haven't seen in quite a long time. Like, remember the stat that came out before this year? They were like 3-28-6 in the month of March from 2019, 20, and 21.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think this is finally a coach that the Sabres are buying. Like, he sets out a system, and the Sabres are finally buying into it. Like, they were rejecting everything that Bilesma gave to him, everything Housley gave to him, and everything that Ralph Kruger, the worst coach in the history of the Sabres organization, and probably in the entire NHL, gave him. But right now they're 6th in the Atlantic. They're 25th in the league. But if they want that first overall pick, they had to jump 7 spots back to get there. I guess that's a little bit of progress, don't you think?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little bit. But I mean, I'm just glad to see that we're not sitting in, the last place spot or the last bottom 2 spots in the division in the league.
Getting that legitimate shot at Shane Wright this year.
Yeah,
it's still a possibility.
It is a possibility. Who knows? Because I don't know what we're gonna get for the draft, but like in what spot I'm saying. But I mean, yeah, Shane Wright's he's up there. So like if we can somehow capture one of those top spots and get him before a different team, that'd be super clutch, especially with OP and all those guys coming. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be we're gonna look forward to actually attending Sabres games that will maybe have more fans than
here's hoping.
Yeah, hoping. We're finally having hope. Pagula's, you're finally getting some hope for fans back in the stadium because we're gonna have a solid team.
And it only took you 11 years to get there.
Only took you a little bit, but hey,
way to go.
But hey, we're getting there. It's all that matters at the end of the day.
We are getting there, and you wanna know who else is getting there? 2 of our goalie prospects are absolutely getting there. That's Eric Portillo and Devin Levi.
Shout out Levi. Tough loss first round. Northeastern. Who did they lose to?
An elite goalie though.
Yeah, forgot who they lost to. They lost by like 1 goal, but yeah, I mean he led the league and led the whole NCAA in shutouts. Michigan's rolling. If I could find a website to throw my life on them right now to win this, I would 1,000% do that because right now they're in the Frozen Four. Owen Power has
an absolute beast.
6 points in 2 games in that tournament.
And he's a defenseman.
I mean, come on.
That's
all I gotta say. He's coming to the Sabres. He's coming to the Sabres. We got him. Portillo.
As soon as next year, Portillo.
All these Quinn from Amherst, all these guys that are gonna be coming. Paterka. And then who knows who our captain will be. I think it's gonna be Tuck.
You can't spell Tuck without a C.
Exactly.
Can't spell Tuck without a C. But I also would encourage the idea of slapping the C on Tage Thompson. Because, man, he has turned it around this year, and then some. Jeff Skinner possibly getting the C.
Possibly. Jeff Skinner did have a major turnaround year. My God.
He was 28 goals now? 27
yes,
maybe?
He's something like that. He's sitting 2nd on the team. Same 3 leaders. Him, Thompson, him, and then Darlene. Same 3 leaders on our team for the past, I don't even know how long, how many times I've been saying that every week, but they've been the top 3 leaders on our squad for a while. So yeah, I could see Skinner or Thompson getting the C, but I don't know. It's all about the passion that you gotta have. I think Tuck really he has that Buffalo just wants to be a part of something in the city of Buffalo because the Sabres have been poop for the last however many years. So I think
to say the very least.
So Tuck, Skinner, Thompson, yeah, definitely the top 3 dudes to get the captaincy, I think.
And what I'm also impressed with the Sabres is some of the secondary guys stepping up their game. Like Vinny Hinostroza, he's made it publicly known that he wants to come back and play another season. Maybe give me a pay cut. I want to help the rebuild of this team. He's been stepping it up. Darlene, from the beginning of the season to now, I don't even recognize the old player.
Yeah,
I don't even recognize who he
all.
was. Craig Anderson has been.
That's my 41-year-old goalie right there, baby.
Go.
I say that every single game I'm watching.
Him in October, who was like Swiss cheese, full holes, and now he's like a wall.
Yeah.
Nothing gets past him. He's stepping up his game at 41. Like Brent said, that's my 41-year-old goaltender right there. But he won't be there, for a long time. He's not a part of the future. But it's nice to see him give that type of leadership role. Be the vet that holds it down and be like, okay, yeah, I see that this team's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the very young group that we have. He's definitely, who are we to really say? We don't know what goes on in the locker room. Just an assumption. But
We just go by what we hear.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the media. But I think Anderson is, like what you said, being a vet in the locker room. I think he's definitely, seeing what's going on with our group. He knows he's probably not going to be here come next year, maybe even. So he's probably definitely, giving his word of advice to these young guys that are going to be in the league for the next however many years. So Sabres' future, I hope it's looking bright.
And I think Don is the right coach to do it. Donnie
For
Meatballs,
sure.
the Italian stallion himself, Donnie Granato, will lead this team to success at least one day. And I'm finally, for the first time in a long time, I'm not ashamed to wear this logo everywhere I go. So
You usually are wearing a different hat.
No, yeah, I usually am because of how poverty and pathetic they usually play. But it's good to see a little bit of a change, especially with the Sabres. And actually, we have one of the best and most popular prospect pools in the league right now. So
literally,
that's another thing to look at. It's you have this team that looks really good right now. It's going to get 3 times better on paper, at least, within the next few years, which I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. But with that said,
finally
though,
being able to hopefully go back to a Yoff game in Buffalo.
Yep.
Hopefully.
It's been a long time.
We're going to jump over a little bit, move away from the Sabres. Talk about Matthews a little bit. We're not huge Toronto guys, so we're not going to stay on this topic for too long. But Matthews, on pace to capture 60 goals this season.
Yeah, believe it or not, when he's not cross-checking Rasmus Dahlin in the head, he's scoring a lot of goals. 48, he's got 48, 17 games to go. He needs to score 12 goals in 17 games to reach that 60-goal mark. It's definitely possible because I don't really know who Toronto has on their schedule, but it really doesn't seem to matter when you're talking about Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews this season, he was down a little because he was hurt, so he wasn't, obviously wasn't doing much. But he came back, was still in a little slump from his injury, but then just absolutely picked it up and went on a tear. And now, 17 games, 60 goals. I mean, he's already at 48. So, I don't know. He's turning it around midway through the season, and even Toronto, they were dropping some games earlier on, but now they're starting to pick it up again. Even though for some reason the Sabres are just dynamite now, so they couldn't beat us, but they are picking up their games and picking up some dubs. So it is good to see that for them, not for us. But Matthews, 60 goals, he could get it done.
Unbelievable. And then when you move on to a guy like Alex Ovechkin, 772 career goals right now.
Absolute goat.
He's leading the team in goals and points, 42 goals, and he's 36?
36 years old.
He's scoring 42 goals, getting 36 assists, 78 points. And what other 36-year-old NHL player can do this other than Alex Ovechkin? Sidney Crosby has 69 points. Not as good as Alex Ovechkin.
We'll be seeing you next year, kid. You can maybe try again next year. Try and beat the grade 8 himself. But that won't happen because Ovi's just the GOAT. So
I think the Penguins' day in the sun is done too.
Oh yeah, well,
their little mini dynasty was cool.
Yeah, it was all cool. My friends back home trying to roast me every time I send them clips of us roasting Crosby. They're Crosby fans, but hey, guess what? They may have had their fair share with the Capitals.
How does one root for Sidney Crosby by any chance?
Yeah.
How does one person root for Sidney Crosby? You have to be from Halifax, Canada, or you're a Penguins fan to root for him, but
exactly.
I cannot stand him.
No, me neither. But exactly what you said, their share, they've had their fair share with the Capitals in the playoffs, coming second round, always beating them, whatever, going to win cups, whatever. But the Caps are, ever since they've won that cup, they're different now. And I'm telling you right now, every time they're going to meet in the playoffs for the rest of Crosby and Ovi's career, I'm calling it now, Crosby will not beat him again.
I agree. 100%.
Will not beat him again.
100% agree with you on that. And then another great player in the league right now, Connor McDavid. Everyone calls him Connor McJesus.
He honestly might be at this point.
He's one of the top skilled players that this league's ever seen, especially at his age. His 5th season for 100-plus points, he is chasing 1,000 points in under 10 years in the league. Like maybe under 8 years in the league. This is something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah,
Like, it took Alexander McGillney almost 20 years to get 1,000 points.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I'm just looking at this kind of just like in awe right now. Like, wow, McDavid, settle down a little bit. Look, I mean, his second year, he had 100 points.
Yep.
3rd year, 108 points. 4th year, 116 points.
And his 3rd and 4th year, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
And he went
then
108 and 116.
Then he missed it the next year, and then they had a shortened season where he hit 100 points again.
Yep.
And now he's about to do it
56
again.
games.
Yeah, in 56 games. And now he's about to do it again for the 5th season. And it's like, you know, everybody always likes to make that debate, Eichel, McDavid.
It's over.
It's over. I mean, you could say what you want. Eichel may have had the opportunity to hit 100 points
If you put
2
him on a
years
better
ago,
team,
whatever.
I guess.
That. And like you could also make that debate that McDavid has Draisaitl, whatever. McDavid's a better player than Eichel. I mean the
that's the reason why he
dude
went
is
first
just
in that draft.
he went first. I mean, and he's proving why he went first. I mean, he's like his 5th season, about like 5th 100-point season. I mean, come on, that's insane.
The Oilers team with McDavid over the years may have not been the best, but he's been consistently great for all these years. So.
And he's been able to carry them to playoffs.
Yep.
Without even having that great of a team.
Him and Draisaitl by themselves, and then that one year where they went to the playoffs with Milan Lucic, I believe they went to the playoffs with.
Yeah.
That was disgusting, but very interesting to see at the same time. Speaking of the 2015 draft, we can talk about Vegas Golden Knights and Jack Eichel. They finally snapped their 3-game losing streak with an overtime win against Chicago, where in this game, Eichel actually scored the tying goal to make it 4-4.
You know what? Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad that you could score the tying goal and that you guys can snap a 3-game losing streak. That doesn't change the fact that you're still playing like a bunch of robo-boogies. Like, you're on the ice doing God knows what. You could say your players are injured. You could say you have no goalie. You could say whatever you want. Eichel was supposed to make this team a better team. It's not showing. And you know what is showing, though? The Sabres are a good team when he left. Started winning games, started beating bigger teams like Toronto and the Penguins. Vegas got Eichel and
lost to the Sabres.
Started having trouble winning games.
It's weird, but I will agree with you on the statement that you said earlier. The Vegas Golden Knights, Jack Eichel, I mean, 14 points in 20 games, okay. But the team around him and a little bit of Eichel himself, Robo-Boogie Central. That's what it is.
Robo-Boogie Central.
It's absolutely embarrassing for them. They are falling off a cliff for sure. I also found out the Sabres in the month of March are in 11th in the league as far as win-loss record. 11th in the league gets you in the playoffs and might even get you like home ice advantage for a series or two. So if the Sabres can be that consistent and Vegas kind of falls off, maybe, well, it's not going to happen this year, but
yeah,
if
not
this
this year,
happened
but
last year, Eichel might be watching the playoffs from his couch, watching the team he used to play for, finally snap their 12-year playoff drought or whatever it is now, and go to the playoffs. I just can't wait for next season as far as the NHL is concerned to see what happens with these major players like Eichel and McDavid, and then you see who gets the captaincy for the Sabres. But like you said, Eichel leaves the Sabres, and they're kind of turning it around, and then Vegas brings in Jack, and then
they start going in the tank a little bit.
Started going in the tank a little bit, but with that said, I think Vegas is still a decent team.
They're still decent. I mean, their goalie, they're going to get Leonard back. Stone's going to come back. They're going to get everyone back that they need. They're still going to go to the playoffs. I don't want to say it, but honestly, I could see them winning just because every time we trade away a player, they end up winning a cup. But at the same time, I don't think they'll win. But yeah, I think we'll still see them in the playoffs.
They're really missing Alex Tuck right now. Let's say that.
Oh yeah, they're
Underrated
definitely
piece of the team. They're definitely missing him.
Mm-hmm.
And real quick, before we wrap up our segment, can we talk about the Arizona Coyotes?
Oh
jeez.
What is going on with the Coyotes? Dude, I don't even know.
They literally moved out of, what was it? Was it like something River Arena? And then they moved into this college.
They moved into ASU.
They moved into ASU that sits 3,000 fans, and they can't even sell that out.
Oh
like
my
a regular hockey arena is like 20,000 fans. They moved into one that only holds like 3,000, and they can't sell that out.
Can't even sell that out. They honestly, at this point, they might as well move into an abandoned factory or something. I mean, this is just.
It looks like they're literally playing
in an abandoned factory. Like actually, yeah.
You have all this space around you, but there's nobody in there. You're in some like abandoned factory. It's like.
And you know what?
Like God forbid somebody asks you to put up like 3 random pictures of just emptiness. The Coyotes would be in there for sure.
Yeah, actually though, like it's really not a good look for them right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. I was hearing a whole bunch of different rumors that Arizona might not even end up having a team come the future. Could be Quebec, could be KC, Houston, Hartford. Who knows? All we know is they need to figure it out because they can't get any fans in their stadium or wherever they're in their abandoned factory, wherever they're playing at right now.
Beats me, but hopefully you're enjoying the Sabres. I know we are.
We're loving them.
Playoffs are out the window, but it's fun to watch a good hockey team in Western New York nowadays. But thank you for coming on. We are going to have Topher come on to talk about our absolutely incorrect predictions on the NCAA March Madness tournament, so stay tuned.
And probably some bet losses too.
So stay tuned.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service. We've been down there. Post office. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For Selective Service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For Selective Service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Well, we are back with our March Madness segment, and like I previously said at the end of the hockey segment, why are we so bad at guessing outcomes of the games? Well, we're going to get into some good stories and good upsets, but I don't even want to go back and play the tape from what we said the week before and just replay how wrong we were.
We don't know what we're talking about.
No, it was awful.
Nothing.
But, NCAA's, and, we're finally in the Final Four, and there's some good games on here right now, despite our incorrect guesses, but it looks like there's going to be it's going to be a heck of a finish, towards the end when we get done with the Final Four here.
It's the most blue blood Final Four you could ever think of, dude. Like, go back 4 years, these teams were all 1 seeds.
Yep.
Like, cool, North Carolina's an 8 seed. They're still North Carolina. Like, why are we so bad? Like, I wish
So
we were
powerful.
Right. I wish we were right, because I think if we were right on our guesses, it would have been a more entertaining Final Four to watch. Like,
Absolutely.
There'll be good games and all.
Yeah, but like we would be butting heads saying like, yo,
we'd
this team would
actually
win.
like argue.
We'd be saying, this team would win, this team would win. I was such a huge fan and pulling so hard for the Who's House Houston Cougars. It was unbelievable. And then they lost by 6 to Villanova. They went in and they beat Illinois 68-53. I was so hyped for that one because they were my pick to go to the championship. Didn't even fill out a bracket, by the way, but I had them going to the championship around the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 rounds. But it was just so disappointing because I had the feeling the whole time it's going to be one of those games that Villanova, it's going to be hard to beat those guys. And they kind of took over the game early, and then they just never really looked back.
No, Villanova is really good, and I knew Villanova was good, but I feel like I was not giving them enough credit, like as a team, to be like, yeah, they could win this, but like they're just really good at basketball. They're just well coached. Like Jay Wright knows what he's doing, obviously, and like I feel like I just did not give them enough credit coming into this tournament. Be like, yeah, that's a team that could win this, and it's like I watched them play every game. I'm like, that's a Jay Wright coach team. That's a Jay Wright coach team. Yeah, like this is what I expect out of a Jay Wright coach team. Like he's won a championship before. He knows what to talk. He knows what he's doing. And then like I keep watching them. I'm like, why? Why did I not think they were going this far? But it's just ridiculous. Like the Houston Arizona game still just makes me annoyed because God, I really thought Arizona was going to win this entire tournament. And it hurts. It hurts as someone who was very confident in Arizona.
And I mean, that game, depending on how you look at it, in my honest opinion, it wasn't really that close.
It wasn't a great game.
It was a 4-possession game if they hit 4 straight threes. So technically it was a 4-possession game. Houston won that one over Arizona 72-60. And then obviously losing to Villanova. After Villanova beat 11 seed Michigan, by the way, out in the South, they beat them 63-55. That was actually closer than what I thought it was going to be. Villanova beating Michigan by only 8. I thought they were going to beat them by at least double digits.
No, that game was a lot closer than I thought. I did not think Michigan deserved to be this far in the tournament. And like, granted, they held their own, but like Villanova, that was one game Villanova was never losing. Like, let's just make that very clear. That was the game Villanova was never losing. Like, it's just, yeah. Like
Villanova really doesn't lose ever if you think about it.
Yeah,
unless it's like
right.
a really, really crucial game, but they
Yeah.
usually steamroll their way through the first few rounds, and then they always seem to get to the Final Four. That's the South right there, and Villanova is obviously the candidate team in that division to go to the Final Four. Let's go to let's switch things up and let's go to the West. This was pretty weird too.
Yeah.
It was. I don't even know. I really don't even know where to start with this. But to see Duke go there is not really surprising. But they really had to jump over a lot of obstacles to get there in a way.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like the Duke-Arkansas game wasn't as much fun. Texas Tech and Duke was super fun to watch. Like that was my favorite game so far. That was my favorite game so far to watch. The rest of those games really just weren't great.
No.
Like in that entire West, the West, but wasn't good besides Duke and Texas Tech. Like, dude, Coach K is gonna go out on his high horse. Like, he's just gonna win it all. I hate Duke, so I hate Duke. I said it last week. I'm saying it this week. I hate Duke. Duke is the one team I don't want to watch win this tournament.
That is going to be extremely interesting to see once we get into our predictions of who's going to win in the Final Four. Let's move on to the East. What a story from a school named St. Peter's
Oh
University.
my God, it's great. Yo, Dougie Buckets, dude. Dougie Buckets.
And who would have thought that a 15th seed team would go in against a 3rd seed like Purdue? We already said on the show, one thing that we got right on the show was that Purdue was a little bit overhyped. Mm-hmm. And I guess they were totally overhyped to the fact that where they lost by 3 to the 15th seed, 12 seeds behind them. But, I mean, what a story for St. Peter's. Nobody had them even getting out of the first round, eliminating Kentucky. They beat them by 6. nobody really had them beating Murray State, even though Murray State was falling off.
Yeah.
They beat them by 10, and then they go in and beat Purdue, a team that was consistently great all season long. They beat them by 3, and then they just couldn't hold it together. They lost to North Carolina by 20.
Yeah, it obviously doesn't help that, like, what was it? I don't even know Doug's last name. I'm a fake St. Peter's fan. I'm sorry.
Dougie Buckets.
I call him Dougie Buckets because like I can't think of his last name off the top of my head. I'm a fake St. Peter's fan. I'm sorry. Dude is a freak with the basketball in his hand. He got hurt in like the first half, right? It was like 5 minutes into the game.
No, it was going from bad to worse.
Yeah, like
right
obviously, like you watch him go down. He was literally like he was holding that team together. Well, not even holding that team together because they were winning like well, but like he was the centerpiece of that team because he was hyping everyone on that team, and he was just hitting shot after shot.
I think he was the most accurate shooter.
Oh, it was
it
was ridiculous.
Yep.
It was just stupid how good he was, which is like weird because no one knew who he was before the tournament, so
Right.
it didn't matter. But no, like they beat a dude who's getting drafted like top 3 overall in the NBA draft. Like they beat Jaden Ivey. Like he bricked the hell out of that last shot.
He did.
And
I mean, just if you look at the final 2 minutes, St. Peter's was up by like 5, and then they were starting to pull away a little bit, and then the timeouts kept getting called, and you're like, man, like Purdue's gonna stop the clock.
Purdue's gonna keep trying to hold on to this.
And then they made it within 3, within 2, and you're like, can St. Peter's really hold on to this?
They did. It was crazy.
And they did. And then it got to the point to where everyone was just intentionally fouling everybody, and then St. Peter's made that. I don't remember who was shooting from the free throw line.
It was Dougie Buckets.
But
it was
he made it a 3-point game.
Yeah.
That put a lot of pressure off their shoulders, and brought them to victory. But nobody really had them beating North Carolina. But at the same time, nobody really
honestly,
had them beating Purdue.
To be fair, I thought they were going to beat North Carolina. Like after watching them beat Purdue, I was like at this point they're just making it to the Final Four. I'm like I was like North Carolina's not going to be the team to stop them, and of course I'm wrong again. So like whatever, dude. I give up. I was going to say, Armando Baycott had 22 rebounds. What are you supposed to do with that?
I was thinking, like, from my vantage point, I was thinking St. Peter's, this is a great run, but I think you might run out of gas against North Carolina.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be St. Peter's versus Duke. I'm gonna be like greatest college basketball coach of all time, greatest Cinderella. I'm like, give me the 30 for 30 now. Like, give me the 30 for 30 before the game even starts.
That
dude.
would have been the Loyola Chicago
yeah.
team from 2019.
But like even crazier because it was
on steroids.
Even 15 seed. It would have been Duke versus. It would have been
Loyola
Duke
was what, 9, 10?
They were 12.
12.
They were at 12 when they made it really far. Because it was like 12 or 13, like enough that like upsetting the first round wasn't like unheard of, but then they just kept winning.
Yeah,
it was just ridiculous.
But it's insane, some of these lesser teams like the 15th or the 12th seed or the 9th seed, they can, if they win that first game in the first round, it's like a momentum just
absolutely.
carries you. And it just baffles me how some people just don't believe in the idea of momentum. Basketball is the ultimate momentum sport.
The funniest thing I heard over the weekend, I was talking with some of my friends about St. Peter's, and they're like, hey, I've come up with a system for betting on, not betting, but like picking a team in the college basketball tournament. The one underdog team you always pick one Catholic school because the NCAA tournament always starts right around Lent, and God is picking one school to go far. I'm like, I hate that, but it's also the most accurate thing I've ever heard because like Sister Jean 4 years ago,
Holy Cross,
God
sometimes.
was on her side. St. Peter's, God was on their side.
Yep.
They can only go so far. They're not going to win the tournament, but God, are they just getting carried through it?
No, God's not going to rig it. He'll just give them a fun story to talk about a couple years down the road.
Dude, I heard that. I'm like, you're onto something. I'm like, what's the Catholic school next year that's going to get in the tournament? And that's who I'm putting all my money.
Holy Cross, book it.
Bro, oh my.
Holy Cross.
If Holy Cross makes it, I'm putting all my money on them in the first round. I don't care.
At least through the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get to the Final Four, maybe not.
Then I go for the blue blood school, I guess.
Or at least, the Elite 8, not the Final Four. But like once you get there, maybe kind of pull your money away from them.
Yeah.
But this one in the Midwest was this was kind of expected. I mean, we went into the Elite 8 looking at a matchup between first seed Kansas versus 10th seed Miami, Florida. I was pulling for Miami so hard, but I just did not see them even coming close, and they really didn't. They lost by 26, and the final score was 76-50 to clinch their spot in the Final Four.
Hey, this is the one quarter of the bracket we called perfectly. This is the one quarter of the bracket.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to us. We got 2 games right.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah,
real
that was
quick.
we got Kansas versus Providence. We got Iowa State versus Miami, Florida. We got Kansas versus Miami, Florida. We called what 3 games in a row? Cool. Shout out to us. So
Wow,
we did
look at us.
We did one corner of the bracket correctly.
You know what? 25%. If that's all you were
I'll
betting
take
on,
it.
if you were just betting on the Midwest for the Elite Eight, you're welcome. But if you were taking our advice for the West, South, and the East,
You lost a lot of money.
sorry, not sorry, because I at least didn't put any money
I put
on
nothing this time around. I didn't trust myself.
it. I think you know what? Maybe it takes a lot of skill to be that inaccurate for us.
Yeah,
if you think
almost
about
actually.
Like it almost takes that
Like-
much skill to be so perfectly wrong.
Hey,
If you look at that.
in theory, every college basketball game is a coin flip, and we were just not on the side of the coin flip. So
Nope.
like, we must be doing something wrong or right, depending on how you're looking at it. Like at that point, God.
I mean, it's disappointing, but it's also very comical at the same time.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like in hindsight, I looked back at it, I'm like, we were really confident on a lot of these guesses.
Yep.
And God, were we off.
It was somewhat embarrassing, but I'm gonna take
We
it
stand
as
by it.
as comedic relief. But with that said, the semifinals or the Final Four, whatever you want to call it, take place this Saturday in the Mercedes-Benz, or it's not even the Mercedes-Benz Superdome anymore. It's
It's
the
whatever it is
Caesars something Superdome.
Sportsbook, Caesars Sportsbook.
Caesars Sportsbook
Yeah,
Superdome.
whatever,
in,
dude.
In New
It's-
Orleans. It's in the Superdome.
It's the Superdome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with this one, Duke versus North Carolina. What can you expect going into this one?
Bro, if Coach K loses the NC to North Carolina twice, there's no way.
Are you pulling for Chapel Hill all the way then?
Dude, I hate.
I wanna see North Carolina win.
So who I'm rooting for? I'm rooting for North Carolina. But God, do I think that somehow this is like, there's just no way. There's no way Duke loses back-to-back games against North Carolina.
There's
to
that-
pu-
there- there's
to
that
put
confidence again.
No, but like this is just like the storylining of it. Like there's just no way, dude. Like I don't even care. Like North Carolina literally was like, North Carolina was Will Smith. St. Peter's was Chris Rock. They slapped him right across the face. I don't care. We're not continuing with that.
I agree.
Yeah, no, like Duke is gonna, like Duke just has the star power. Like there is no way Coach K is losing to North Carolina in back-to-back games. Like they lost at the end of the year, they're not losing again. Like it's like script, like it almost is gonna seem scripted, dude. Like Duke's just gonna make it.
You know what? There is no chance, but there is a little bit of a chance. Obviously, of course,
Yeah, like
because of the chance of an upset happening.
Right.
But do you have any prediction? You obviously have Duke beating North Carolina, but do you have how much do you think that they're going to beat them by? Do you have a score prediction or anything?
Give me 6 points.
6 points?
6 points. I think they lead by 2 with like barely any time left and then just fouls. That's
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
I think
2 seed Duke, 8 seed North Carolina. North Carolina, it's debatable whether or not they should be higher ranked.
they could have been.
I think they're a very good team despite the 8th seed. I think they could have the potential maybe next year to be in the top 5.
Oh, they
depending
could be,
depending
yeah,
on how many
depending-
guys that they lose.
Yeah, like Baycott's definitely going in the first in
Absolutely.
the lottery.
Absolutely.
He's so good. Like he's if North Carolina wins, it'll be him.
Yeah.
He will carry that team.
And if they do, he can carry them to the finals, and then who knows what happens there. But honestly, I'm right there with you. Don't take any advice from us because we could be dead wrong. But I can see Duke winning this game by probably around 3. I'm going to say I think it's going to be close the whole way.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
No, for sure, I
maybe
agree.
North Carolina has the lead in the first half, and then Duke steps it up in the second half. They come back and win, and then the last 2 minutes last a half hour. And
Yeah,
they're
that's fair.
it's going to go from like a 6-point lead to a 3-point lead, back to a 6-point lead. They're just going to be
Maybe
fouling
like,
each
yeah.
other. But I do see Duke going to the finals. Like you said, it fits that
It's the
storyline
narrative, dude.
narrative.
Sports love a narrative. But also, if you're smart, you go and put all your money on North Carolina because we both think Duke's winning.
Yep.
Like that's just at this point.
I mean, for all we know, we're just putting bad luck on Duke, and we're just cursing them right now. So if you got your sports book out right now, I would
You
put
just kinda-
$5 on the
North
Tar Heels.
yeah, and you probably will make money.
You
It's
might
not
cash
because we
out.
think North Carolina's going to win. It's because we don't, and that's why they're going to.
It's because we curse every team that we pick.
Yeah, we
okay?
had 20. It was the 25% accuracy. That's 75% of the hit. That 75% will hit right now.
And then we go to this one, which is going to be essentially a coin flip.
I hope it's I hope this is a good game.
But
I really
it will
do.
be a really good game. I think it's going to be close the whole way through. This game, I think, takes place directly after the Duke North Carolina game.
I think so.
2-seed Villanova against 1-seed Kansas.
Oh, it's going to be so good. This is actually going to be such a good game.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually guessing this game is my guessing Texas Tech versus Duke game. Like, I know who I would want to see win, but I don't know who's going to win. Like, I mean, I also picked Texas Tech and Duke won, so maybe I should pick Kansas so that Villanova wins. Like, at that point. Like, I'm okay with either of these teams winning because I just want either of these teams to beat Duke in the finals. Like, that's what I want. Whoever comes out of the Southwest or the South or Midwest or whatever, South and Midwest to beat whoever beat Duke.
No matter what happens. Duke loses.
I just don't want Duke to. I just don't want Duke to win.
Okay, so you don't really know who's going to win. I'm going to throw one prediction out there. I'm going to say that the 1 seed comes out on top. I'm sick of seeing Villanova in the Final Four. Yeah. So I kind of want to see Kansas with their moment in the sun.
Kansas hasn't been there in a while.
No,
like they're always good. They always just choke.
They had one of the best teams in 2020 before the world shut down, and I felt so bad for them because they had all the pieces it took to go out there and win March Madness. I think this is going to be their moment in the sun, and they're going to go to the finals, probably against Duke. But for all I know, I could be absolutely wrong with my predictions, like we have been over the past X amount of weeks.
Yeah, you cannot trust our judgments at this point. It's just not there.
Go to your phones right now and bet Villanova and North Carolina because that's
going to be what the final is.
Probably what it's going to be.
Because we think it's, absolutely.
Hey, if I get one right, that's 50%, I'll take it.
Yeah, okay? No, for sure at that point. So we actually won't be here for the national. Okay, so are we making national championship bets too then at this point?
Yeah, we can go real quick. So if it's truly gonna be Duke and Kansas, who are you picking?
I'm picking Kansas.
I'll pick Kansas too, and I'll pick them to win by a margin of, I'm gonna say 3-5.
I'll give it. Yeah, give me 5. I think it's by 5. Give me like 84-79. But that's like a legit. I have no idea, dude. I haven't looked at it. I would have to actually look stats to make an educated guess on it. But like,
yeah, this is like right on the spot. Yeah, so this is gonna be more inaccurate than anything.
84-79, sure.
But big things coming up for Saturday. It's going to be a sellout crowd in the Superdome. I'm expecting big crowds and fun games to watch. Thank you for coming on. We're going to have our guy, the racing geek himself, Nick Fuller, come on and talk some Formula One when we return.
To Sofia and Gabriel, mis flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Happy to have Nick Fuller. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. The one and only racing geek.
The one and only, to talk some Formula One before we wrap up on tonight's episode. In case you guys missed it, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix just happened over the weekend, and you are like the ultimate genie, fortune teller type of thing because you correctly predicted and accurately the
Verstappen,
top 3.
Leclerc, Sainz. I had Russell there on the 3rd at first, but he got 5th. I almost got him, but I changed it last second. So we
I
had a
think
good
you meant to
run.
say the reigning champ.
Reigning champ, the one and only.
Still destroying Formula One.
Yes, sir. So, a little bit of news about the race before we even get started. The first weekend was already kind of put down, a little bogged down, because we had a missile attack Friday during practice that actually took place a few miles away at Aramco, which is a Formula One sponsor's one of their warehouses. So that was kind of weird, and they had this whole meeting to talk about that. And then moving into qualifying, we saw some other big news. We saw Mick Schumacher wreck big in Q2, causing him to miss out on the race entirely. He made it into Q2, though, which was great for a Haas, so awesome job to him. And we actually saw Sergio Perez, Checo, what a legend. He got, it looks like he got his first pole. It was a really good lap. And that's really all I have to talk about for qualifying.
Putting Red Bull back on the map.
Yeah, another pole. It was a stonking lap. It was awesome. But once we get to the race, it doesn't go so well for Perez. As during that, we had Latifi crash out, causing Perez to... So Perez boxes, puts on a new fresh set of tires, and then Latifi immediately bends it into a wall, causing the safety car to come out, and both Verstappen, Leclerc, and Sainz all got super cheap pit stops under the safety car. So really bad luck for Perez. He was winning the race.
Yep.
It really did nothing that he could have done, just out of his control. But you win some, you lose some. It's going to happen with Formula One. But he still did get P4, which was really good for Red Bull. We saw Verstappen benefit off this and actually win the race.
Right.
So we had some awesome battles with Verstappen and Leclerc. And it was just really this game of cat and mouse during the DRS zones. So anyone who doesn't know, DRS stands for drag reduction system. Basically, they got a big old fat wing on the back. There's a big flap, and if they're going down the straights and they're near somebody, they could just peekaboo, just open it right up. Get some nice, it gives them about an extra, I think they always say like 18 or 17 kilometers per hour down the straight.
And it was just back and forth between the two.
It was a little game of chicken. At one point, they both locked up trying to brake before the DRS detection zone.
Yep.
Which was very bizarre to see. I have not seen that in a long time. I haven't seen that since Alonso 2012 Spain. So good chunk of wise.
But it was fantastic head-to-head racing between the two.
This is some of the best racing I have seen, period. The regulations, I can pretty confidently say now that they definitely work. So just going down the list of finishers, we saw another Ferrari dominance with them getting 2-3, clear in the back end of the podium. George Russell, Perez taking up 4th, Russell 5th. Ocon had a little bit of an incident. So Ocon is known for racing in pink. He has many incidents with Perez's teammate where they collided and just had a bunch of issues. And he's done it again with Alonso. They were battling close battles, and it got a little feisty. It never got to the point where I was like, oh, come on, man. You can't do that.
Well, it was never to the catastrophic point to where it really took him out of the... I mean, he was out of race contention, but he finished in a top 10. He finished 6th, so it really didn't ruin his day entirely, but Perez had a much better finish for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was not the greatest thing in the world. And then moving on from that, after that, the constructors, they stand at Ferrari,
it's not
number
even close,
1.
By the way.
Oh, yeah. Ferrari is far and away the best because the Red Bull double DNF the first race. Mercedes, Red Bull brings up 3rd. Alpine, Haas, Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri. McLaren got their first points finished this weekend with Lando Norris finishing a respectable P7. That's 6 points for him for the constructors. Following that up with Pierre Gasly as well, getting his first points. Yuki Tsunoda obviously got points the first race, but first points for Pierre. Kevin Magnussen, again, proving like an MVP that he is, just coming out, getting more points, finished 9th, 2 more points to him. And Lewis Hamilton, 10th place. It's not looking great for Mercedes at all. Hamilton knocked out in Q1. Very bad start. We have another race coming up in Australia on April 10th. I am predicting Verstappen, Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo. It's not going to happen that Danny Ricciardo, but I want a podium.
Well, Verstappen, he is the reigning champ. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these other teams like Mercedes and Red Bull trying to climb their way up. But a lot of good stuff coming up. Like you said, April 10th, going to be in Australia. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was awesome to see. Thank you for coming on. pleasure.
Pleasure to
Seems
have
like
me.
we do this one every single time, but
I love it.
we're gonna see you guys next week, same time, same place, right here at Hendricks Hall, watching another episode of Sports Hour. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your week.
Always remember, brush longer than you think to.